Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Universe Mode University. Welcome to the goddamn show. Now, in today's show, we're looking at something a little bit different. This one is going to be titled Past Eras and Booking Fantasy Matches Inside WWE 2K25 Universe Mode. So, we're going to start with some general advice, and then I'm going to give you 5 suggestions or what-if scenarios that could happen. Or what if this particular moment in wrestling history had gone differently? What would the ripple effect be across the eras? So, you want to create your own timeline, whether it's tweaking one big event or smashing 2 eras together to see what explodes. Here's how I would approach it. Pick a pivot point in history. So, for example, the NWO. This could be a match result, a debut, a retirement, or replacing somebody that made a decision that changed the world of wrestling. Build a world around what you would have done. Ask how would other careers change, who would rise, who would fade. Use accurate arenas and looks. Presentation sells the illusion. Make it era appropriate. Tell stories, not just matches. Just like you would in a recent or an up-to-date version of WWE 2K25 Universe Mode. Why would the wrestlers fight? Book everything like you would be booking a normal show. What is their motivation across time for each individual superstar, woman, or tag team? Once you've got a foundation, you can build a full card, a single dream match, or even long-term feuds. To get you started, here are 5 powerful what-if scenarios you can use to build your own universe mode around. Number 1. What if The Shield debuted in 1998 during the Attitude Era? Well, that would be different, wouldn't it? Because they'd have to clash with the likes of DX, The Corporation, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. How would you have booked them guys inside them eras? Think Riot Gear versus Barbed Wire, Chaos versus Chaos. And would Roman Reigns have ascended to become the Tribal Chief? Scenario 2. What if in 1997 Bret Hart never left at Survivor Series? What would have happened with Bret? Can you imagine a world where Bret would have continued with WWE? Imagine Bret versus the likes of Kurt Angle, John Cena in 2002, or even a power struggle with Triple H in the early 2000s. Screwjob never happens, but HBK still would have wanted the spotlight. How would you have booked that particular scenario? How would you have incorporated Bret Hart into an attitude, into the later Attitude Era, going into the Ruthless Aggression Era? Now, I know John Cena is a heel right now, but what if in 2011, after losing to The Rock, John Cena turned heel? How would you book John Cena with the likes of Ryback and Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus and Triple H and Shawn Michaels? How would you have turned Cena heel? What kind of character would you have given him in his very first heel role? Well, not technically not his first heel role, but you get what I mean. Ruthless, bitter Cena. Hollywood rock style, mirror image. Could he be like a power guy like Triple H? Cena becomes everything that he once stood against, and your task is to book him in that way to keep the audience intrigued. Scenario 4. What if the Monday Night Wars never ended? Now, this is one that I see people tentatively do, and not directly do. But what if both WWE and WCW survived all the way to 2025? Who do you think in today's current era would have signed with WCW? Who would have signed with WWE? And what would have happened between the two brands? Would WWE have ever bought WCW? If they were 2 separate entities, what would you have done? Would you have done brand warfare, title invasions, legends, leading factions? Would you have opened that godforsaken forbidden door that in 1998 and 9 and 2000 and 2001 could not be foreseen? Now, this is a bit of a morbid one, and I wanted to give it as a what-if scenario because he's my favourite wrestler of all time. And I think it's a really cool tribute. What if Eddie Guerrero lived and became world champion like he was supposedly supposed to do in 2006? How would you have booked Eddie Guerrero? Obviously, he unfortunately passed away in 2005, but if Eddie Guerrero and the unfortunate events of 2005 did not happen, where would you have seen Eddie go in the current era of wrestling? Where would he be now? Can you book Eddie Guerrero's journey up until 2025, and what would his relationships be like with the likes of Batista, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, John Cena, and all them kind of folks. Long term, what would have happened between him and Dominic? What would have happened between him and Rey? So in closing, I want you to comment a suggestion. I want everybody that feels comfortable commenting that's watched this video to suggest a iconic moment in professional wrestling history that you would change and advise people to try and go out of their comfort zone and book for Universe Mode. How would you make their Universe Mode more interesting? Pick one of the ideas, run wild, and let me know how it goes should you choose to do it. But guys, that is episode, I believe it's 19 of WWE 2K25 Universe Mode University, the past eras. Guys, I hope you enjoy this series. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.